So just so you know, the first part of this meeting, I will be sharing a guided meditation, and then during which you will be muted, and then you're welcome to unmute yourself for whatever discussion, questions you may have. Okay. So if you can simply be. No need to focus your attention onto anything for now, just for now. To be not knowing. Meaning not to bring in the past, the future, just to let things be as they are for now. Not pursuing anything or avoiding. No need to. Do anything. No need to do anything. Maybe some thoughts may appear to you. Sensations may appear to you. You remain as you are. Transparent to your experience, meaning being, not knowing. And no need to know. No need to figure anything out or fix anything. So that the piece of being is revealed effortlessly. It's right there. When we are present, the body relaxes. Is invited to a deep relaxation. Awake, alert, and relaxed. So turn your attention to your body if you notice any contraction. To simply be there with it. Not knowing it. We come to Satsang because of a deep calling. We're drawn to ourself, to our innate self, our unborn, formless self. Where we can savor the peace without holding on to anything. The peace of being. Which is that which we are. So in Satsang, we are that which we are. Which is unborn, the formless reality of being, of consciousness. There is that which appears and disappears in your experience, thoughts, images, sensations. And there is the transparent awareness, which neither appears nor disappears, and yet is undeniable. In Satsang, we're invited. We're inviting ourselves to this understanding about the reality and universality of consciousness. This understanding reveals that I am, and I am aware, and that my amness is the isness of everything. That this I is not a thing, it is no thing, and yet it is everything. That the world, body, mind are real, and the reality is I, consciousness. And that this I, consciousness, is limitless, borderless, edgeless. Check it out. We are the ocean. We are the truth. We are the love and the beauty. You don't need to imagine yourself to be a person. You don't need to. You don't need to identify yourself with the body, the person, past trauma. You don't need to. Because you are the formless, aware presence. The substance of all appearances. The body appears to you in so many different ways. Can you notice the futility and unhappiness that results from identifying yourself with the body, with a family, with a tribe, with a culture? In Satsang, you're invited to be this formless, transparent reality. You're not imagining that you are. You imagine that you are a person. But you cannot imagine that you are. Because being, amness, awareness, is absolute, is your ongoing experience. Whatever attempts to deny it is in fact proving it. Along the path, your identity dissolves more and more. The transparency of being becomes available to you, like a clear blue sky. Okay, so if you have any questions, please make sure you unmute yourself. Anything that you would like to share or explore.
Hi, Magdi.
Yes, hello.
Thank you for the wonderful session. Very peaceful, calm, relaxing. I really felt the falling away a little bit.
Yes.
My question is, you talked about the not knowing, and I wonder if you mean the same not knowing that we get in deep sleep.
Yes. Yes. There. But this not knowing that I'm speaking about is, which is, yes, akin to the not knowing in deep sleep, is also available to us right now. Because whatever you're experiencing right now, images, thoughts, sensations, memories, they arise onto the screen of deep sleep, let's say. And the screen of awareness, awareness with that object. So to be not knowing is in a way inviting yourself to simply be without the necessity of the habitual tendency to engage in one way or the other, in whatever way we engage. It's Of course, in life we engage, in so many ways. It's very, very appropriate. In satsang, in the meditation, we get a taste of being, not knowing, of pure awareness. And we also get a taste not just of pure awareness in the meditation, but in this conversation right now. So it's like you are in the market and there are all these wonderful goods that you could purchase and enjoy, but you have no money. And then somehow you put your hand in your pocket and you find, oh, you've got $100 bill. Something shifts within you. You're still walking in the same market, but it's slightly different because you have that you could purchase, whatever you like to purchase. So being not knowing is slightly different in that you get to realize that your presence is your absence. And that your absence is your presence. And that, irrespective of what's unfolding, such as this conversation right now, for example, you don't need an iota of past or future. In fact, it's not possible to step into the past, even a millisecond ago, or to step into the future a millisecond from now. It's not possible. And that is not only it's not necessary, it's ridiculous that the totality, the wholeness of your being, of your experience, of life, of the cosmos is not in time. And that, in fact, you've never been in time. And yet, days and nights and clouds pass by and birds fly by. Day follows night, night follows day. On the screen of awareness, which doesn't exist in time. So this deep sleep wakefulness is a more appropriate way of speaking about our experience, rather than making a distinction between a waking state and a deep sleep state. So the screen of consciousness is the same screen, unmoved, untouched, irrespective of whatever appears or doesn't appear on it. If it's a daydream, night dream, deep sleep state, the screen is the screen of consciousness. Yes. So in our investigation, we come to the understanding that, yeah, I am aware. It's undeniable. Awareness is undeniable, and it's real. I mean, what I may be perceiving this moment could be a hallucinogenic experience, or it could be a hypnotic state, could be a dream, could be even 0.1% possibility. It's still a possibility. But irrespective of whether it's a dream, hypnotic state, or a hallucinogenic state, awareness is undeniable. That which perceives, that which is undeniable. But that which perceives, that which is not an object. Because an object does not perceive. An object is perceived. A thought is perceived. The oak tree in the yard is perceived. A hunger, sensation of hunger is perceived. A thought about your mother, your friend, is perceived. So that which perceives is not a perceived object, or is not perceived. But because we attribute reality to the world, to object, to the body, to the mind, we attribute reality to phenomena, we don't attribute reality to consciousness. We believe that consciousness is derived from the body, or is derived from the brain, or is derived from the Big Bang, or whatever. It's derived from matter or from the cosmos. Because we attribute reality in the wrong direction, we overlook our reality. We overlook the reality of consciousness. So knowingness belongs to consciousness. The I that perceives is consciousness. It is consciousness that perceives via the body-mind. It perceives sunset. It perceives hunger via the body-mind. But it's not the body-mind that perceives. So this deep sleep state, which is sort of akin to being not knowing, is not a lethargic state of passivity, some sort of mental experience that puts me beyond the world. No, it manifests itself as this conversation, as cooking a meal, as going for a walk, as applying for a job, as writing a paper, etc. It's creative. And creation goes hand in hand with freedom. See, these are like attributes of consciousness: is creativity, freedom, happiness, joy, beauty, love. So in our experience, we not only notice that which appears, but there is a reality, the reality of perception. The reality of perception is your very being. And it's right there. It's what you are. It is what you are, not some story, not a concept. It's at the heart of your experience, and throughout the entirety of your experience, you are. You experience Indran, the body-mind. But the substance of Indran, of the body, is the same substance as the rain and the clouds and the thoughts and the perceptions, which is consciousness, which we refer to as I.
I love your analogy about the walking in the marketplace. And so to summarize, would it be like I keep shoving my hand in my right pocket where there's no money, and now instead I put my left hand into my left pocket and I realize there's the $100 right here, and I've been looking in the wrong place, so to speak.
Mm. What matters is what you are looking for you to be clear about what you are looking for. If you are looking for an experience, an object, a situation, improve your life, improve your body, improve whatever, then that's a direction that you are looking for. It's important to have clarity about what I'm looking for. And because you are here in Satsang, that means you already have a glimpse of your true nature. You have that insight and that intuition about causeless peace and happiness. Not the personal peace and happiness, but the causeless peace and happiness. So then when you have clarity about what you're looking for, and if you're looking for God, for truth, for reality, for the causeless freedom, causeless peace, then both of your pockets have $100 bills in them.
Great.
But yes, you are right. When we are looking for experiences, sensations, it's different. You know, we still at some level believe ourselves to be immortal body mind, and we, no matter if we win the lottery is still the sense of mortality, the concern and the worry about the sense of impermanence, fear of death. Yes, you're right. Right. You have to put your hand in the right pocket.
Thank you. That was very clear and helpful. Appreciate it.
Okay, Indran, thank you. Yes.
Hi, Magdi.
Fernando, hola. Hello, Fernando.
The sages of the East have taught for thousands of years about the need of knowledge, self-knowledge, and they have talked about also the knowledge as a way of self-realization. But here we're talking about not knowing. And actually, I have enjoyed not knowing. I felt liberated and no pressure
Yes.
of the need of knowing. But can you talk about a bit about this apparent contradiction between knowing and not knowing, or
Yes.
please?
Yes. So the knowing that we speak about, the sages speak about, is knowing that you don't know. We, in ignorance, we are under the impression that we know that we know. We know about who we are, what we are, the world, blah, blah. I mean, there's so much. The bases are loaded, a lot of downloads, over the millenniums, of human experience on this planet. We've confused the instincts of survival of the animal, of the body, with the survival of consciousness. So we are at the place in a time in our culture, in our evolution, where we believe that we know what we are. We are a person, we're a member of the family, we're a father, we're a mother, we're an engineer, we're an architect, whatever. We all have our own version of what we are. So we know, we have a certainty about our knowledge, about our identity. So in the saying of the sages in the Greek, saying of know thyself, this thyself does not refer to something that you can pin down. It is knowing thyself as presence and knowing thyself as absence simultaneously. Now, undeniably, I know I am. So I know myself as being, which doesn't mean being something or being somebody or just being. Okay, so I know I am. We all know that. If we look, when we pose the question, I know I am. There's a certainty about amness, about being, about awareness, about consciousness, about awareness, about presence. About presence. And we also know that I'm aware. Meaning, I perceive. And I know that I perceive. I am, not only I am, but I know that I am. So there is both knowingness, beingness, and the knowing of being. So being and knowing they come hand in hand. You cannot be without knowing that you are. You say I am, implicit in I am is the knowledge that you are. And when you say I'm aware, implicit in I am aware, in awareness, is fact, the knowingness, the fact that I am. I know that I'm aware. What is it is aware? I am aware. So when we speak of knowing, know thyself, it refers to Satchitananda, Sat, presence, being, Chit, awareness, knowingness, Satchitananda, the two sides of a coin, but the coin has no thickness. No thickness of the coin doesn't exist. So from that perspective, we could say, yes, there is a knowingness, and that knowingness is Satchitananda. But Satchitananda, meaning I am and I know that I am, does not refer to I am and I know that I am this or that. It does not refer to I am somebody, history, blah, blah. It's just pure Satchitananda. So in this knowingness of amness and awareness, I know that I am, I know that I'm aware, but I do not know what I am. And the beauty about consciousness, that consciousness doesn't care about knowing what it is, because everything is it. There is nothing which is not consciousness. So consciousness does not say, what am I? Am I this or am I that? Am I the northern tribe or am I the southern tribe? Am I extraterrestrial? Am I an ET or am I a human? It doesn't. Because there is nothing that is apart from consciousness. And that it's really important to test that, Toronto. That everything that I experience, like this moment, the perception, the sensation of your feet on the ground, whatever you experience in the absolute intimacy. You cannot separate anything outside of yourself. You can separate things outside of your body. You could say, okay, well, the table is over there, my body's over here, my hand is here, the table is over there. But I'm not talking about that you can separate a body A from body B, or body A from object A. I'm talking about separating anything out of yourself, not out of the body, out of yourself. You say, what is myself? Awareness, consciousness. When you go to your experience and try to separate anything out of your experience, you will find it's not possible. So consciousness being non-objective, not a thing, and yet everything is consciousness, because there is nothing apart from consciousness. Consciousness does not need to know itself as a Christian, a Muslim, a Buddhist, or a good father, or whatever. That's why we say that being not knowing is the ascertainment, the absolute ascertainment of being, of awareness, Satchitananda, but not, I know that I am, but not what I am. Any way you describe yourself, I am this, I am that, you are bringing a limitation, a certain, even if you say I am, you know, the Milky Way galaxy, still it is a limitation upon consciousness. So therefore we invite ourselves to this understanding. We invite ourselves to live as being, awareness, without knowing what I am. So when you ask me, what are you? Just I'm going to smile and give you a hug. I am whatever you are. It's an apparent contradiction, but when you take a look at it, you will see it's not really a contradiction, because they're like two different, there is a knowingness, an absolute certainty about being awareness. And there is an assumed, I know what I am. Oh, I am blah, blah, blah. I mean, anybody you talk to, they will tell you a story about what they are, you see. And what are they talking about? They're talking about themselves, about awareness. They're talking about awareness. They're identified themselves with a limited, some form of limitation. And that's where the unhappiness is. It's right there. The unhappiness is not because you lost money or your partner left you or whatever. No, the unhappiness is right there in the mistaken limitation of consciousness.
Very nice. Yeah, the knowing is like looking for an object, but there is not an object, so it's
Yes.
just consciousness.
Yes. So then we invite ourselves to feel this understanding. We allow this understanding to permeate our being at the feeling level. It's an exploration. It's a form of yoga. Because for so long we've been living with the body identity. So within the body, there are certain positions that have developed over the years. And they're there in the body. So we invite this understanding to permeate the body. Say, okay, how can the body express being, not knowing, being, this borderless aware presence, being. So we invite ourselves at the feeling level to be. Anyway, that's what we do during the meditation, but also we can do it in our life, whenever possible. By the way, I saw that beautiful painting that you sold to some friend there. I saw it. I saw the picture, I think on Facebook. Really beautiful. I'm really glad. It looks very nice.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Yes.
One of my favorite paintings.
Yeah, it's really
beautiful. It's black and white, and
yes,
some patches of color here and there, but
Yes.
it's strong. And
Yes.
thank you. I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, there's a little detail, you know, in one of the panels is a little, I noticed some detail, yeah.
Going back to awareness, you said awareness is effortless, transparent, causeless. When I heard the word causeless, with no cause, I thought, oh, for me it's different to imagine something without a cause. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, right.
About causeless of awareness? Or something without a cause.
Yes, yes.
We're used to think everything has a cause and effect, and so on.
Yes, I mean, another way of saying it is that consciousness or awareness is its own cause. It is, there are very few things, you know, in our experience that refer to themselves. Like a table doesn't refer to itself. The oak tree doesn't refer to itself. Rain or a mountain doesn't refer to itself. A thought doesn't refer to itself. Consciousness does. Love does. Beauty does. It refers to itself. In terms of causality, causality is inferred. We could say the glass of milk fell down on the floor and broke. And the reason why it broke is because I dropped it, or I moved my hand and I dropped it. That's a cause. But then you may also say, well, you know, my friend put the glass on the counter, and then my hand, you know, hit the glass and the glass fell down. So the cause of the glass breaking is because my friend put it on the counter. Then you could say, well, no. The glass was manufactured with 4 millimeters of thickness rather than 8 millimeters of thickness. And if it was manufactured 8 millimeters of thickness, then when my friend put the glass on the counter and I hit accidentally the glass and it would have fallen on the ground, it wouldn't have broken. So the cause of the breakage is because they manufactured the glass with 4 millimeter thickness rather than 8 millimeter thickness. You follow what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Causality is inferred. I'm not denying maybe it has practical reasons and purposes and so on. But given that everything is interconnected with everything else, how can we pull something out of the whole and say, well, this is causing that, while in fact, this is connected to a billion other things, and that is connected to a billion other things. So when you take a closer look at causality, you become less and less certain, more and more doubtful about causality. But I'm not denying that it may have some usage and some purpose. So, but your question about you cannot imagine something having a cause and being causeless. In fact, everything is causeless. If you understand what I'm just sharing with you now, realize everything is causeless, or everything is the cause of everything else. I mean, that's another way of saying it. Everything is causing everything, and nothing is causing nothing. See? Right?
Mhm.
So in the totality, in the wholeness, you cannot add something or remove something. You see, you can only add or remove something out of a limited object. You can take a notebook and say, okay, I'm going to remove 2 pages out of the notebook. You take off 2 pages out of the notebook. It's a limited object. But from the totality, you cannot remove anything or add anything. So the totality refers to one totality. So I use the term reality or wholeness. There's one wholeness, one reality. And so in that wholeness and in that reality, everything is everything else. Everything is everything else as that reality, as that same essence, you see. So it's like in the ocean, there are waves. You say, well, oh, there are more waves in the ocean than was yesterday. No, it's the same water. It's the same quantity. I mean, it's a simple metaphor. It's the same quantity. Now, this does not mean there isn't a good functionality for us to classify our experience and to organize our experience in causality, in relationships, etc. So we can create a certain order in the vastness of the disorder. So, but consciousness, which is the reality of our experience, and is one reality, refers to itself. If you want to talk about causality, you could say that consciousness is its own cause, but it's also the cause of everything else.
Yeah.
Francis sometimes says, gives the example of somebody looking through a peephole in a room, looking through a peephole, the keyhole, and there is a cat walking in the room. You see the head of the cat. And a couple of seconds later, you see the tail of the head, the tail of the cat. So then you say, oh, the head of the cat is the cause is the cause of the tail. But when you open the door, you realize, oh, it's one cat. So you have to take causality with a grain of salt, Fernando.
Very, very, very interesting view. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are some things that you cannot give them a cause, like love. You cannot give a cause to love. You don't say, oh, love is the result of being nice to each other, blah, 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 blah. No, there are some things that are absolute, like beauty. Say, oh, beauty is because of whatever. No, beauty, it stops you. You know, it speaks directly about that which is the source of everything. See, this is why we love beauty. Say, oh my God, we sometimes stand in front of a painting, we're like, it reminds us of true nature. It takes us to.
I like to think about beauty when the separation between the viewer or the object and the subject dissolves, and it's just one thing, and
Yes.
it's the experience of beauty.
Yes, there are certain expressions, certain manifestations, certain objects of art, work of art, certain that dissolves the observer into consciousness. See, there are some works of art that don't, you know, but there are some that they have that effect. And yes, then you are taken directly to the source.
Nice. Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, Fernando. Thank you. Nice to see you and nice to talk with you.
Same.
Okay.
Hello, Magdi.
Hello, Holly.
Hi there. I just have a question about a phrase that I've heard you use this session and the last session, which was something along the lines of something about the absence and presence and the presence and absence.
Mhm.
And I'm wondering if you can talk a little more about that.
When you are contemplating consciousness, you are not contemplating an object. You are the contemplator, and you are that which is being contemplated. There is no form in such a contemplation. But yet there is something rather than nothing. But it's not an object. You are meeting yourself in the infinite, invisible. It's not an empty state of there is nothing and nothing to do and no one, etc. No. There is awareness. But it's non-objective, non-phenomenal. I am. Which is the presence. But I am not this, not this, not that. Which is an absence, but it's not an empty absence. The closer you come to the understanding about the true nature, about reality, about the nature of everything, you come to the emptiness and the fullness as one. That nothing is significant, and consciousness is all significant. Nothing is real, and yet everything is real as consciousness. Nothing is real on its own, of its own. The world, the body, the mind do not have a reality of their own. But they do have a reality, and their reality is awareness, which is not a form, not a thing, not an object. So when you are walking around, you are not walking. You could say, okay, the body is walking, but that's just a narrative. Because all what's happening is consciousness, is consciousnessing. You could say itself as walking. Or as interpreting its consciousnessing as walking. So where absence and presence meet, is in your vastness, in your borderlessness, in your eternity and your infinity. So in your experience right now, I am. But this I that is right now, what is its form and shape and color and size? Yes? What is it? Where is it? Can you locate it? Oh, here it is. It's right here. This side, that side, all around, outside and around and inside. You can't locate it. Because you've never been finite. Just, we were all sort of encouraged, and we said yes to play the game of being finite. But the finite appears to you, whatever it is that is finite. The oak tree in the yard, the flock of birds that fly by, they're finite. The perception is finite. It appears to you. But you are not finite. Right? Can you find anything finite about yourself? You can only find finite things about your body, about your bank account, about your house, about your car, blah, blah, blah. But not about yourself. And you are yourself. In this moment, aren't you this transparent presence? It's transparent awareness. Effortless. You're not making any effort to perceive. Effortless. And you're not standing apart from that which you perceive. It's just happening. You know what I mean? It's as if this infinity is taking on the form of this perception right now. But it remains infinite. You remain infinite. You see? It's not that the perception reduces you to somebody or something. You remain infinite. The perception is what it is, whatever it is. You can make any narrative about the perception. You don't need to, but you could. But you cannot make any narrative about yourself. You make a narrative about your body, about your family, but not about yourself. Right? So you are this presence, but this presence is not phenomenal. It's an absence. Presence and absence arise together. You cannot have a presence without the absence. Where would it arise? You cannot have an absence without presence. How would you know the absence without the presence? Right? So absence and presence are together. But what matters above all is that you sense this transparent presence. This transparent. Has no name. It's not called holy or nothing. Right? But yet it's undeniable. You know, you cannot deny this transparency, this beingness, this awareness. You know, we use words figuratively. We use words. Words are, to a certain extent, they are gross forms. Because what we're talking about is beyond words, right? But we're not talking about something conceptual that's beyond words. But we're talking about the reality, that which is, that which I am, this moment, or whatever it is, that is beyond words. Words follow, they're downstream from. I never leave myself. How could I? Where would I go? What will I be? Okay, Holly.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you all. It's been very lovely to be with you, Holger. And in the run, Holly, Nathan, George, Richard, Fernando, Zoe, and Grace. Thank you all. Hello, Zoe. Very lovely to be with you.
Thank you.